First step of changing the oil and doing maintenance on a car hauler Peterbilt. Put the jack under the front axle and lift the truck up to get this thing under the engine. And the truck is fully off the ground with the front wheels, as you can see. We'll put our safety jacks in. Safety first. Both sides. And the drain car goes right under. There you go. That's as easy as it gets. They put a valve on the drain plug so you can open it with your hand. All of the oil is draining. We have a Cummins X15 engine, 500 horsepower. We are currently draining 43 quarts of oil. That will be replaced with exactly 43 quarts of oil. We're also going to drain the fuel from the fuel filter, the secondary water separator filter, and the rest by hand. That's how black that thing is. 25,000 miles. Brand new filter going in. Stick it in there. New rubber seal going on the cup. The grease helps us stay nice and snug. Fill it up with brand new diesel and slap it right on. Screw it on by hand. Main fuel filter coming right off. Gotta feed it through the bottom behind the frame rail into the draining bin. So they gotta fill this main fuel filter up also. Put a little diesel on the rubber seal. It looks like to put it on, it's a little easier. You just screw it right on. Tighten the fuel filters easy. Don't over tighten it. Not too hard. To hook up all the wiring to the water separator. The main oil filter is hidden behind this frame rail. And you just use the same tool. Looks like it's the same size as the fuel filter in diameter. And that just screws off like that. Let it drain right into the draining bin. Nice and easy. Gotcha. Same way, you gotta put a little bit of oil on the seal on the new filter. And then you feed it through the bottom. And you screw it on. Just a couple clicks on the main oil filter. And clean your mess up. And you should be good to go. Here you got all three filters and the oil is drained. All three filters are replaced and it's time to open the engine oil cap. Got a perfect tool to put oil in. We're gonna put 43 quarts of fresh oil into this Cummins X15. We got 43.01 in the engine, ready to roll. Make sure you put the cap back on. Once you get the oil in, we're going to change the windshield wipers. Peterbilt brand. Don't forget the other side. So after you get the windshield wipers on, you got to replace, oh wow, look at that, the air filter for your heater so that you can breathe correctly in the truck. Brand new one going in. And that cap goes right back on. One of the final steps is greasing all the grease points. We're going to grease all the grease points so that they don't wear out over time. There's another grease point on the ball joint by the steer. A secondary ball joint, steering ball joint. A third steering pin ball joint, and all the way from the bottom a fourth grease point. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grease points, 7 grease points. We got 8 grease points on each side. On the other side of the leaf spring, 9, and 10. 10 grease points. 11. 11 over there. 11 grease points. And on the other side, on the right side, passenger side, there's a little bit less grease points here. Not as many as on the driver's side. Same ball joints, grease points here. And five or six total grease points on the passenger side. So the final grease points, you gotta get on a dolly and get underneath. So these are the two grease points for the transmission. So one of the final grease points are the fifth wheel. From each side, one on each side. So this fifth wheel has a plastic grease bearing, so we don't have to unhook it to grease it. You let the truck all the way down before you start the engine. We're gonna cycle the fuel, cycle the key, so that the pump pumps in diesel into the system. As you can see, the diesel is being pumped into the filter. And we're gonna top off the windshield washer. So the final step is to check the air pressure in the tires and make sure you're at 120 on the steers. And then on the drives, you gotta make sure you're at 115. We're gonna cycle the key a third time to finalize all the pumps. Make sure everything's pumped in before we start this big, massive engine. So we pulled the truck forward and we're gonna be greasing some points on the S-cams and the slack adjusters on the trailer because we have drums here, drum brakes. So there's grease points on those. The truck has disc brakes, so there's no grease points on the brakes on the truck, but there are grease points on the trailer drums on the S-cams and the slack adjusters. So make sure you get some grease in there. Don't forget to check the oil. The oil is perfect level. Right almost at full, that's where we want it. We don't want it over full, we don't want it at full. We want it right under full. And make sure your windshield washer is full, and make sure your coolant is above minimum level. So we're good on that. So the final step, we're gonna grease the hood boots so your hood doesn't rattle inside the boots, because we've had issues with that because the hood is heavy. And don't forget to leave a review for Brothers Transport LLC in Nicholasville, Kentucky. They take great care of you for all your maintenance and oil changes.